What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the stream. I'm just waiting for Joshua. Don't worry, he'll be here. I'm going to send the invite again to him, and then we will get going. But how's everybody doing? It's the first actual normal timed game that we can do. So just as always, ask any questions that you have. We will talk about them, and we will get going. And then when Joshua joins up, I will obviously add him into the stream. But what's going on, Chris? What's going on, Benjamin? How are you guys doing? And then I saw Don C was in here earlier, hyping it up. So thank you, Don C, for doing that. Sorry, I'm just sending the invite. How you doing, Don C? Lance, you're 100% right. Dalen Hayes is finally active, and he's actually going to get a lot of opportunities today, which I'm very excited for, because I think that is one of the most exciting players I've had this year, especially after his preseason. He looked very good in the preseason. His pass rush moves looked actually pretty refined and was pretty surprising. I wasn't expecting him to be nearly as good as he was that early. And Joshua is now here, so let's get this set up properly. How you doing, Joshua?
I'm doing pretty good, man. What's going on, Ravens family? How y'all feeling? It is finally Sunday football for us, 1 o'clock on the dot, Eastern Standard Time.
I know.
I'm surprised you up.
I know, right? I'm never up this early, but for football, I guess I'm up this early. Benjamin also says Nate McCrary back on the Ravens. Yes. How you feeling about that, Joshua? Do you think there's a chance he gets on the 53-man roster by the end of the year?
Honestly, it might be a chance. Only way I can see that happening is, let me see, someone else goes down. Maybe letting Devontae Freeman go because they finally want to give Le'Veon Bell a chance, which I feel like they should. We keep on talking about this. I feel like they need to go ahead and give him a chance. And also, it may be a possibility from Nate McCrary to actually, not follow Le'Veon, but study his movement, because, you and I both said, as far as comp player, Nate McCrary reminds us of a Le'Veon Bell style, change of pace style of running back. So I can definitely see that happening.
Yeah, I feel like he will probably make the team. I'm very curious to see how the Ravens treat the running back situation now. Right. Because obviously Le'Veon's on the practice squad. They have Devontae, they have Tyson, and they have Latavius Murray.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a benefit that the Ravens could look at is Nate McCrary can probably go out there on special teams. Now, I don't think that's his desired position, but I feel like that's something where they could say, hey, sorry, Latavius, or sorry, Devontae, even though they've both played well.
Yeah.
But we need to have that special teams player, and they can get Nate, because they're not going to get Le'Veon to play special teams. He's played, I think, 11 special teams snaps in his career.
Right.
Devontae's not going to play special teams. He's a veteran running back, and neither is Latavius. So, and then Tyson's their number one, and they're not going to put their number one on special teams. So, I don't know. I feel like he will get activated pretty soon. It's not like he doesn't have experience in this Ravens offense. I mean, he was here all off season. He was running through preseason. So when the Broncos ended up cutting him, I was pretty excited just because I felt like he could end up coming back. And Lance says, did you see Le'Veon's tweet? I will pull it up right now. I did not see that he tweeted. Let's see what he said. I'm assuming it's one of his most recent tweets.
Yeah,
here it is.
It was a recent one. Yeah, what did he say?
I can share my screen. Chrome tab. Yeah, so that's what Le'Veon posted.
He's getting impatient.
Oh yeah, he wants to play. He definitely wants to play. So I feel like I'm very surprised that he hasn't been activated yet.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like the Ravens could really utilize his pass catching, but I don't know. That it's very interesting to see the way that the Ravens have been approaching the situation, because he was the first guy they brought in.
Yeah, and like I said, man, he's a Pro Bowler. I know he's one of I know John Harbaugh is one of Andy Reid's guys, but just for the mere fact that Le'Veon took the chance and signed with us, it pretty much in my eyes, it shows that there's no hard feelings between him and John, even though that is a Andy Reid's guy. But at the same time, token is like, what exactly are we doing? And I know the thing was getting him, condition ready, but at the end of the day, you gotta let that man ride. You gotta let him ride. See what he actually can do. Because during the week, you're not really going physical. You're not going 100%. I mean, you're just running through plays, understanding the offense. I mean, hell, look at Latavius Murray, week 1. He barely knew what he was doing, but you just tell him what you tell him what hole to go through, and he did what he can do. Then week 2, he looked more comfortable. So I feel like you need to pretty much experiment the same way you did with Latavius Murray. Because honestly, I feel like Devontae Freeman, he's not the answer in regards to the third running back.
Yeah, and are you getting any Dez Bryant vibes with the Le'Veon Bell situation? We brought in Dez Bryant.
Yeah, just about, actually, honestly.
And it was just like, where's Dez Bryant? We were waiting for so long, and it finally got to that Cowboys game, and they were like, we're activating Dez Bryant. And then unfortunately, there's the weird situation with I can't remember if it was a false positive or they got the test back and they had to do another one on game day, and it was like, I mean, he was definitely mad. He was able to come in like a couple weeks later and play, but like, it's not like the Ravens like, oh, we have other guys that have been here longer. No, they were all here the same amount of time. Maybe the Ravens are kind of designing certain things for Le'Veon, in the passing game and such. Whereas, you can tell your running backs and say, hey, yeah, we're running power to the B gap here on the right side. And your running back will know that. Whereas Le'Veon Bell is more of a pass catching running back and such. Maybe they're saying like, hey, you got to learn the entire playbook and you really have to know all these passing concepts because, heck, Tyson Williams cannot pass block at all. But Benjamin, I think you're right. In Williams' pass catching ability has surpassed what the Ravens thought about him. And that's something that both you and I talked about with him and Nate McCrary in the preseason, was that both of them were not known as pass catchers coming out of college, but they both looked really good catching the ball. Their routes are meh. They're check down routes. They're not going to be running routes like Le'Veon, but they have been pretty solid with going out there and making those receptions. And so I feel like that's maybe one of the reasons is just the Ravens like really want Le'Veon to grasp everything. I don't think they want to bring Le'Veon back and give him 2 carries. I feel like that probably would hurt the situation because then he'd just be more mad.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And a side note, Saginaw Valley State,
yeah.
They actually played against Bowie State University, my school, and Bowie did beat them like either week 2 or week 1. So shout out to the Bulldogs, CIAA back-to-back champs. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing out there, man.
They needed Nate McCrary in that game.
Hey man, listen, that Bulldog defense, man, listen. Them dudes really be balling. Amir Hall, back in 2019, I think he won Offensive Player of the Year. He was a quarterback, and I think he also got tried out. He tried out for the CFL or either the XFL. So yeah, they got some ballers out there.
Oh yeah, Terrence says that he's watching this at work. Loves the show. Thanks so much, Terrence.
Absolutely.
Don't get caught. or maybe your employer's like, oh wow, you watching TTP? Nice. let me pop on in here and watch too. Let's see here. Yeah, so if you guys have any questions or anything like that about the game, absolutely let us know. We'll definitely talk about them. Somebody asked about Freeman. Well, I guess we can talk about this. So Chris Reed says Jimmy is back. Yes, Jimmy Smith is no longer on the inactive player list, and neither is Dalen Hayes. And so he will be making his debut. And that is, has Jimmy Smith being absent been the biggest missing piece, or do you think Nick Boyle is still a bigger piece that's been missing for the Ravens, Joshua?
Honestly, I think it's both. They're both it's equal. Because honestly, when it came to Darren Waller and also Travis Kelce, you needed that bigger body presence. Yes, Jimmy Smith, he may not be the most agile guy as he used to be, but at the end of the day, you still can't. He has skill, and you can't take that away from a good player, in which he is. He's a good skill player. He knows how to run. He knows how to break up the passes. I mean, hell, he did it in the Super Bowl against Michael Crabtree. So I mean, of course, you need that type of guy, and also even with the run game, having a blocking tight end that can chip at a defensive end, all night. We needed it against, Max Crosby in week 1. I know we're going to need it against TJ Watt. I can't think of any other defensive ends that's going to be that has a big name that would be playing long
Myles Garrett.
That guy, that too, So, having even, later down the road, having Jimmy Smith play against Njoku. We're not really playing any more top 10 tight ends.
I know we're playing like all 3 of the best pass catching tight ends we could possibly play.
Yeah,
in the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we're good. So I definitely understand what you're saying on that, Chris. But having both those guys back, but they both play a significant part. But the real big upgrade is when Rashad Bateman is active to play.
Oh yeah. that is the one that is definitely the most anticipated. I mean, we have been waiting to see him.
Heavy, honestly, in my opinion, that weighs more heavy than having those 2 guys back. It's going to open up the offense even more, in my opinion.
Yeah, and Abdi asked, should the Ravens go out and try and sign Richard Sherman? Don C brought it up, and he said Sherman's got too much mental health problems right now. I'm thinking. I brought Matt on to talk about the Ravens possibly signing Richard Sherman, and he talked about how Matt's a 49ers fan, if anybody didn't know. He talked about how he didn't think Richard Sherman was going to play this year because I think Richard Sherman is one of the smartest people in the NFL. I think he understands, and he's said that like he needs to focus on some things right now. I mean, he doesn't have anything to prove. He's been on one of the best defenses of all time. He's won the Super Bowl. He's been to another Super Bowl. Actually, he's been to 3 Super Bowls, I believe. And so I don't think that he's looking at this like, oh, I got to go get myself a championship. It's not like a Le'Veon Bell type situation or like Antonio Brown was last year where it's like, yeah, he has some issues, but he's like, I really got to get that ring. He's got his ring. If he's able to get, mentally back on track and is like, you know what, I want to come back to the NFL, a lot of teams are going to offer him a lot of money, and he doesn't really fit our system. He is not a man corner. He was never a man corner. And now he's extra slow. And so if you put him in man, it's like, oh no, this is really bad. He is a cover 3 outside deep corner that is going to, jam and release. That is how he plays. And he's one of the best to ever do that. But that's not what we do with our defense. So I'm not all in on Sherman. I'm very excited, though, to see our corners now that we actually have our cast for the year with Jimmy and Tavon and Marlon and Anthony Averett. So, I mean, I guess Westry is out, but Westry is supposed to be the 5th corner on the roster, not the 3rd, which was a little tough. But hopefully he's able to come back at some point. But Adit asks, do we see more jet sweeps from Duvernay, outside runs, or running backs in the pass game due to Detroit struggling with the outside rushing lanes? I mean, I definitely think the Ravens will be utilizing the outside. I mean, that's what the Ravens are best at, is getting outside because they have Lamar. But I think that we could see a little bit of some jet sweeps, maybe get Hollywood in on it. They try to use him underneath. Duvernay could get some. They could try, maybe we'll see some screen passes. The Ravens really haven't run very many screens, or at least screens to running backs. I know they've run like a fair amount of screens to, bubble screens and such. They haven't run really any other types, but I don't know. I feel like they could definitely try and get that involved. Detroit's entire defense, though, it struggles. And so I don't think it's just the outside game, unfortunately. They've struggled against everything, passing, rushing. They've really struggled. They're just not known for their defense, but we could definitely see that get involved. What do you think, Joshua?
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I think they're missing like 4 pieces on their defense.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not gonna say we're gonna have a field day. At the end of the day, it's any given Sunday. Anything can happen. But I definitely give their defense, the respect, right now. But I definitely see us using I definitely see us, utilizing the run game, using those outside rushes, and just for the fact that we did do like the what was it? We did do the counterplay. We did do the counterplay with Dev, and the way Kansas City bid on it was crazy to me. But I definitely can see us using that. I really don't like us using Devin doing it as a gadget guy because I feel like he, is going to take away from his, his growth and progression as a wide receiver. But I definitely feel like, it is going to be used.
Yeah, and Don C says the defense plays slow, so that would be a great idea. I think that's definitely a strategy the Ravens should try and implement. Is just use their speed.
Yeah, I mean they're like the worst. They're the worst in the league right now as far as run defense. So no, most definitely.
And I mean that's tough when you go against San Francisco, but then they go against the Packers, and Aaron Jones did he have 4 or 5 touchdowns? I started him in fantasy that week, and he had like 30 points from him. He scored like 40 or something.
Yeah, he had 4 touchdowns, and I think he had like
he had like 120 total yards or something like that.
Yeah, he went crazy, man, for sure.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Benjamin says, "Do you think Ricard will play on the D line today?" I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. Like we're missing Brandon Williams and Justin Madubuike, so we're definitely going to be needing some guys on the line. And Derek Wolfe is still out, I believe, which sucks. I was really hoping he'd be able to come back this week, but hopefully.
Did Chris Smith get moved up to the active
Chris Smith was not moved up, and it was very surprising.
That right there is, mind-boggling to me because he showed a lot of progression. I mean, yes, he's been in the league. I didn't know he'd been in the league that long, but I know he hasn't hit 30 yet, or he's just hit 30. But either way, he showed a good motor. But I definitely would have loved to see them out there. I don't know if Broderick is going to be playing today, but I definitely love what Broderick brings to the table as well.
Yeah, and Depressed Mania says, "I'm so pumped for this. I'm going to show up to an online class super tired," and he lives in the Philippines. Ooh. Well, thanks for coming in. I mean, Philippines, I want to say they're back from us in terms of time, but maybe, no, the Prime Meridian's over I don't know.
I'm not even going to hurt myself trying to figure that out.
I wonder, what time is it in the Philippines, Depressed Mania? I'm very curious. Is it really far ahead or is it behind? I don't know where exactly the Prime Meridian fits in on that, but I know it's in the Pacific Ocean. But that's all I got. Lance Reyes says it's 12:10 a.m. Okay, yeah, so it's about 9 hours behind. All right. Yeah, definitely. So Abdi says, "What's up with the Le'Veon Bell? When is he going to be on the 53-man roster?" Ooh. Prediction-wise, I feel like if he's going to be on the roster, he'll be on week 7. So he'll get a game in before the bye week.
I was thinking about week 5 or week 6. I mean, honestly, I didn't know we played Indianapolis on Monday Night Football. I don't feel like Indianapolis deserves a prime time game, but hey, good thing they play against us. We do our thing under the lights. So I definitely see around week 5, week 6. I feel like he should be game time condition. I feel like he should know enough plays the way he can make an impact on the field.
Yeah, definitely. And Benjamin asks, "Will Big Jelly Justin Ellis get a sack today?"
The way he ran down Travis Kelce, I think he might. He got. He didn't give up on the play, man. So I think he won't give up, chasing down a quarterback. So he might just get a sack today, man.
Benefit is Jared Goff is not a speedster. So if he gets any pressure, he can come down with the quarterback. So it's not like we're going against Kyler or Russell Wilson or
right.
Heck, even like a Baker Mayfield who can get out of the pocket. Jared Goff cannot run. So that's all that matters is being able to chase down the quarterback. And that means that guys that we have with that crazy athleticism could really get going if they get after him, because like Mahomes was going crazy,
Right.
Against the Ravens, like running and everything like that. But
He's used to running for his life.
yeah,
That's a crazy thing about that Kansas City organization. You invest all this money into your quarterback, yeah, and then you get a brand new offensive line, but at the same time, they're still struggling.
oh yeah. And thanks so much for the super chat, King NB. Where do you watch the game? It's on CBS, and it should be on, I would assume, in Baltimore, local time, just depending on where CBS is putting it on. Also, if you're in Detroit, the game will be on CBS. If not, then if you have like the NFL Sunday ticket, you can watch it on there, or you can, I don't know, go on Reddit and use those methods and such, and try and do that. But yeah, so this one's on CBS, which I like. I like CBS broadcast way more than Fox. But
Yeah, absolutely.
Benjamin asks, does Lamar break the most 100-yard rushing games by a quarterback before week 9 this year? He has 9 and the record is 10. Yeah, probably. Probably.
Yeah.
He may tie the record this week.
Yeah, I definitely see that happening. We saw another glimpse of Lamarvelous in a sense. You see what the guy can do with his back against the wall, and you love that when you have a guy that has his back against the wall that continues to fight. He doesn't cower. He rallies his guys and keeps it moving. So he knows how to set the tone. I love what he does. I love what he brings, and keep on doing what you're doing, Lamar.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's rushed for 80 yards in, I want to say, 4 consecutive games, which is the most by a quarterback in NFL history. I would expect him to get another 80 yards again today. I'm hoping we're still yet to get it. The big one from Lamar. Like, I know Lamar's had some big runs. He's had 40-yard touchdowns. Lamar is killing it with those. He's the 30 to 45-yard touchdowns. He has a ton of them. We saw a big one against Tennessee. Yeah. But when's he going to hit that just breakaway where there's nobody catching him? Because he's yet to do it. It's every time he breaks one, it's always like he's navigating through the defenders. We're yet to see Lamar get behind the safeties. Maybe it happens today. Maybe we get the 75-yarder, the 80-yarder.
Does he put him through the sprint cycle? Does he in this one? Did we get another sprint cycle?
Can we get a hurdle? I would hate to see Lamar try and hurdle just because I am so scared that I'm scared when any player hurdles. But if it works though, it looks so good.
And honestly, I watched a little bit of Louisville. I forgot the name of the quarterback. I want to say it's maybe Mark Jackson, but he plays identical to Lamar. So with that being said, we need to go ahead and call Bobby Petrino up.
Oh yeah. Depressed Mendian asks, do you think Odafe Owe will get a sack or 2 today? He's lining up against Penei Sewell, and we'll see. Well, we'll actually see where the Ravens line him up. They'll probably line him up on both sides. So he'll go up against Sewell, and they'll go up against the other tackle. The other tackle has been abused this year. The pass rush has been very good against the Lions this year. And if Owe can use that speed, and one thing that we see about Dalen Hayes is he's got a great first step. The Ravens, I think, will get a fair amount of sacks today. So I am looking forward to that, seeing if they're able to go out there and really do it. But I think Owe will get, I don't know if it'll be a sack. I think he'll get a big play. Maybe it's a sack. Maybe it's a pick. Maybe it's a tip. He's not just an edge. He's seemingly he's just a defensive playmaker for the Ravens. It's been. Yeah. And I think he will make another big play today. It won't be a game deciding play or something like that, but it'll be hopefully the Ravens don't need a game deciding play in this game. But I think he'll make a good play that we see and we're that's why we drafted him.
That's that's definitely a good statement, because honestly, he reminds me of T Sizzle in a sense. Even though T Sizzle, he was more what's the word? He was more developed. He was but at the same time, Odafe's going to keep on stacking those Sundays. As he continues stacking up those Sundays, I feel like he's going to win defensive rookie of the year. I'm saying it now, and it's week 3. He just shows the caliber of player that he is, and he just keeps on working. He keeps on showing like, hey, I belong in the NFL. So, do I see him getting a sack? Possibly. Do I see him maybe getting a fumble recovery today, and maybe scoop and score? Yeah, I can see that happening as well. The dude he's a freaking nation. We're finally, it's like we're almost getting, if LeBron played football, in a Duffy, in a Chase Young, and those type of guys now. So it's definitely a lovely thing to see a Duffy on our team. We finally get Dalen Hayes back. I'm looking forward to see how Tyus, how those guys still work without all the interchangeable pieces. Because Duffy, Tyus, Dalen, all those guys are going to see a lot of time, and they got to make the best of it while those guys are out right now.
Absolutely. And now let's get into. Do we want to get into Lamar or do we want to get into Hollywood? Which one do we want to do predictions for first?
Let's do Hollywood. We got to do Hollywood.
Let's do Hollywood. So Benjamin says Hollywood for 120 yards and a touchdown. And that reminds me, I almost forgot I was going to start Hollywood in fantasy. I'm benching Keenan Allen in fantasy for Hollywood Brown.
Uh-oh.
That's a tough one. Keenan Allen's a good fantasy player, but Hollywood Brown has been that guy. I think it's going to be another big Hollywood week. I want to say there's no Jeffrey Okudah for the Lions. Hollywood Brown has scored a touchdown, or averages one touchdown in his last 8 games. I feel like this is where we get a deep ball. We get a big play touchdown from Hollywood, which it's been a while since it's happened, but that's something that I'm really looking for. The Ravens getting that deep ball connection to Hollywood. So I think he could get 120 in a touchdown.
I definitely, honestly, the way Hollywood and Lamar is playing, we all know that Broward County connection, brothers for lifers, all that stuff, man. And if it's not Mark Andrews, if it's not Sammy Watkins, it's definitely Hollywood that Lamar looks for. And I definitely see him maybe scoring 2 touchdowns and going for maybe between 120 to 160. Because I feel like with the defense, their corners are hurt. I feel like he's going to go over top a lot today.
Oh, yeah. And I see Team Ramey says Adelius Thomas 2.0 for Adafe away. I like that.
That's the best comp right there. I like that. I do like that.
Hopefully he doesn't end up going to New England like Adelius. But, oh, wait. I didn't even realize we have our names on this. Get this out of here. Get this out of here. And now let's talk about Lamar Jackson, because Chris Reed says hot take Lamar Jackson throws for 5 touchdowns. Another Jackson 5. I think this might be the week he does it.
I can see it happening. Like I said, this is a hurt defense. Don C said it. The defense is slow. They had one of the worst rush defense in the league as of right now. I feel like, this can be one of those week 1 games, that we've been having for the past couple years.
Ooh, the week 1 games.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Ravens will score a lot of points. I think that the Ravens will put up 40 plus.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how will they do it? Because in other times when the Ravens have had the Jackson 5, like for example, the Rams game, it was like the Ravens went into that game. They're like, we're not going to run that ball very much because Aaron Donald's in the middle. We're going to throw it and we're going to, destroy their secondary with the passing schemes. And that's exactly what they did. This game, the Ravens are probably looking at it like they can do whatever they want if they want to win this game. Like they could do it through the run. They could do it through the pass. So it makes me skeptical to try and predict the Jackson 5 just because Lamar Jackson may throw for 0 touchdowns, but he has a great game. The Ravens just get inside the 5-yard line and they're running read option, and maybe Lamar rushes for a couple touchdowns. Latavius gets a touchdown. Let's see who else gets Tyson gets a touchdown and stuff like that. I don't know if it'll be a Jackson 5, but I think it'll be a Ravens 6. 6 touchdowns for the Ravens.
In that Ravens
maybe
6,
7.
In that Ravens 6 or 7, I do hope James Prochet gets a touchdown. He did. I think he saw the field maybe about 16 times last week. He didn't get no targets, but to see those guys, actually getting some snaps and being on the field like Tylen Wallace, James Prochet, I do feel like those guys might get that touchdown this week.
Ooh, and I see Benjamin asks, do we see Huntley for the fourth quarter? I don't think so because the Lions offense hasn't been that bad. It's actually been putting up points. So I don't expect Tyler Huntley to be in. Like my score prediction would probably be like 45 to like 28 or something like that. Like I think it will be a bit of a higher scoring game just because they've put up points. Like they've actually done a good job putting up points because when Goff isn't pressured, he's able to make good throws. It's just if the Ravens get pressure on a couple of drives, he'll turn the ball over and stuff like that. Like I would really compare it to kind of how both the first two games against the Lions went, where yeah, they were losing, they're kind of getting it handed to them, but they still moved the ball, and it wasn't as bad as everybody made it seem like it was going to be, and everybody expected it to be.
And they still got DeAndre Swift. Like I said, the Lions, they are a rebuilding team, and things of that nature. But we're not going we're going to give them some respect. We're going to give them some respect. Put it like that, But one question, one thing has been bothering me is Marlon. Marlon's been being targeted in a sense, this past week 1, week 2, I'm not saying that Marlon is being questioned on his capability as being a corner, but for him to keep on continue to be an elite corner, I feel like you need to start looking for that ball more. I feel like you may need to start looking for that ball more because it's a lot of plays where he plays the wide receiver, and sometimes that ball just finds it goes right in the bread basket of those wideouts. And sometimes it be for huge chunks. I mean that touchdown Sunday night to Robinson.
Yeah,
man, if he just would have turned around a split second and picked it off, that would have been a momentum booster.
The thing with Marlon that I find very interesting this year is that, well, the issue is he's played a bit in different situations. Like he was playing week 1 was tough because he was playing Waller.
Right.
He was playing everybody in that game. But week 2, they didn't put him on Tyreek. What they did was they doubled Tyreek with Anthony Averett, and then typically the safety over top would always like try and shade Tyreek Hill. So Marlon's out there on the number 2, and since Tyreek's being double covered, if Kelsey wasn't open, the only guy they had left was the guy on Marlon, and so they would throw it up. And I feel like week 1, Marlon actually played great in my opinion. Now the last play, I think he got bumped, and that's why they got the deep touchdown on the game ender. But like, I mean, Marlon, the way Marlon plays, if you make a great play, you make a great play against Marlon. No easy receptions are allowed, and when you're going against Patrick Mahomes, who can put the ball in a football-sized cylinder, it makes it a lot easier for those wide receivers. Whereas when you play a quarterback that's maybe putting a little bit farther out in front, it's a lot easier to grab that arm and pull it away. It's a lot easier to get that punch out. But Mahomes, that touchdown pass that he had to Demarcus Robinson, I mean, that was in the basket. Like he wasn't reaching out or anything. And Marlon's trying to chop at it, but like there's no chop because the arms are closed in on the body already. So, when you're playing great quarterbacks like that, it just makes it that much harder. But I feel like I've liked the Ravens strategy though in there, like, hey, let's double the best guy because, it's just more likely to get a stop when they don't really have a great number 2 or something like that. Now, if we went against I guess the Steelers would be the best team I can think of that have multiple good wide receivers. I don't expect them to go out and be like, let's double Claypool and then throw Marlon on Juju. I think actually they'll probably just put Marlon on Juju anyway. I think Juju's better than Claypool, but overall, I just think that Marlon's going to be all right. Sometimes people make plays, sometimes Marlon makes plays, and so it just takes a little bit of time. Like, yeah, a couple plays have gone in the other team's favor, but we see him make those plays all the time. And he was still in position. He's still chopping at the arm. They just made better receptions. It's like playing good defense, sometimes
too much you can do. Sometimes, sometimes those plays are just like that. Nah, I definitely get that. Definitely respect that.
Let's see here. Void asks, will PQ get an interception?
I don't know. I actually see Anthony Avery getting an interception today. honestly.
Ooh, that is a very difficult prediction to make. But I like that. I think PQ could get an interception. Goff likes to throw it up for Hawkinson. Goff's thrown picks this year. Could be something where it gets tipped or something like that, and PQ's just in the right spot at the right time. It's definitely a possibility. And Dante Goff is a statue quarterback, 100%. He is
Absolutely.
the second most statuesque quarterback in the NFL behind Kirkland Cousins. But Benjamin, unfortunately, our Darius Washington is inactive, so he will not get any snaps this game, which is kind of annoying. And Malk, the game is on CBS if you want to watch it, depending on what you have for your service, unless you have like YouTube TV or something like that. But let's see here. Benjamin asked, what would our style versus the Rams be with Kupp and Woods over there? My assumption is they put Marlon on Woods, and then they would put Tavon on Kupp because Kupp is a very good slot wide receiver. But maybe they would go Anthony Averett on Robert Woods and throw Marlon on Kupp. That would be the other thing that they could maybe do. And then put Tavon. They could put Tavon on one of the other receivers. I'm blanking on their other receiver's name. It might actually be Robinson or something like that. But that would be my assumption for how they play against the Rams. But we'll see when they do play against the Rams, how exactly they do it.
We play them at the after the bye week, right?
We play them. Ooh, what week did we play? I feel like we play them like week 16 or something like that. Or maybe it's week 17 we play them. I will find it right now. Let's see here. We play them. Yeah, week 17. So our 16th game of the season, we play them right before we play the Steelers.
Okay.
Let's see here.
Right.
Adit asks, if Anthony Averett continues to play well this year, could his extension be a potential reason why we cut Tavon after this year? Averett's extension could be 3 years, 27 million, like Averett. I mean, possibly. I think the real question is whether or not, I don't think it's about Tavon. I think it's whether or not Marcus Peters is here.
Yeah. Because Avery's not going to be a slot corner. I mean, his Alabama days all the way to the NFL, he's been an outside number two corner. So I definitely, me personally, I would love to see MP Juice Man still here. But if he keeps on stacking his Sundays as well and showing that he can actually have ball skills and play good defense on wide receivers, I can see us, possibly going with the younger Averett and maybe walking away from MP Juice Man. Don't want to see it happen because we are the organization that gave, Marcus Peters that life, that rejuvenation of loving the game of football and wanting to be a Raven and actually, let him play his style of play.
Absolutely. And Depressed Meaning asks, how many points will we let up? I'm thinking in the 20s, maybe like 24 points, something like that, maybe 27 points. I feel like this will be a very high scoring game. If you're betting, I would bet the over. I don't even know what the over's at, but I think it'll be a lot higher scoring than people think. Just with all the injuries that both teams have on their defense, I feel like it'll be very difficult to stop. And if we can't stop Swift, I wouldn't be worried about it for the future because remember what happened when we played the Titans last year in the regular season. We didn't have Brandon Williams. We didn't have Calais Campbell. And Derrick Henry ran wild all over the Ravens. And everybody was like, ooh, the Ravens can't stop Derrick Henry. And we're like, we're missing our two best run stoppers. Like those are both of our plugs in the middle were gone. And Derrick Henry, had open holes all day long. And then all of a sudden we get those guys back. We play them in the playoffs. What happens? About 40 yards for Derrick Henry in the entire game. And the over-under for the Lions-Ravens game is 51. What? What
is going on here?
That is ridiculous. That is utterly ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. Wow, I'm very shocked by that. I was thinking it would be like closer to 60, but Oh well. Patrick Silverman says we get a comp pick regardless, especially if we lose Marcus Peters. Yeah, that's a way of looking at it, but it's a tough way of looking at it. The Ravens comp pick formula strategy. You already know. Benjamin says Stevens could take Tavon's job with some more polish. I don't think Stevens would take Tavon's job. I think Ardarius could take Tavon's job. Just because I think they really want to utilize Stevens in the safety game. I think they're looking at it like Stevens will take Deshaun Elliott's job if they don't re-sign Deshaun Elliott.
Yeah, that's the real big thing right there, because I mean, Deshaun, this is contract year, of course. This is hopefully second full season of play out of Deshaun Elliott. But we had to see an upgrade out of Deshaun Elliott in order to to make that decision and giving him extension. But they brought Brandon Stevens in with the hope and possibility to carry on and become even better than Deshaun Elliott.
Oh yeah. And Void says, would we have kept Sean Wade if Marcus Peters had gotten injured earlier? I definitely think so. I really think that the only reason why they got rid of him, that was not their first choice of somebody to get rid of. I think they wanted to get rid of Averett, but they got rid of him because they were like, we can't keep him on the roster because there's too many guys. It wasn't because they were like, oh, you know what? He's not the one that we thought. They were very high on him. You heard the Ravens talk about him in pressers, heard Harbaugh talk about him, heard any of the Ravens defensive coaches talk about him. They really liked him. They just felt, you know what? We got a lot of guys here. Get something for him. So if Marcus had gotten injured earlier, we definitely would still have Sean Wade.
Definitely agree with that.
Void says Away going to get 2 to 4 sacks. Wow, that would be a statement
against any. I mean, I know 9 times out of 10 we're going to line a Dolphy up on all over the field, but I don't know. Everybody's talking about him and Panay. That's the matchup to watch.
Yeah, and somebody brought that up. I think it was Patrick Silverman. Wow, Joshua agrees with Patrick Silverman again.
Oh, man.
Look at that! It's going crazy right now. Void says that Brandon Stevens gives Ladarius Webb vibe. I completely agree. That's exactly who I think of when I watch Brandon Stevens play. It's kind of like the reverse Ladarius Webb. Maybe he starts his career at safety and then ends up going over to corner for a little bit. But yeah, I do like that comparison. I loved Ladarius Webb. He's one of my favorite Ravens of all time. But
shout out to the Webb boys. I think when his sons did commit to Ole Miss and the other two, they're balling out. I don't know what state they're in, but shout out to the youngest. They really out there balling.
Oh yeah. And Benjamin asks, is this the game Calais goes off with his deflections?
That's the only way PQ might get an interception. So I don't see why not.
This could be another game. This could be the game where Calais goes off with the sacks. If we remember the Eagles game last year, where he went crazy, maybe this is the game where he does that one. And then somebody, Depressed Minion says, the odds on Adolfo to win Defensive Rookie of the Year is 20 to 1. Do these guys watch football? Yeah, I'm a bit surprised. It's just Defensive Rookie of the Year is very tough. You obviously have to make a lot of key plays, and typically the award is always a sack-based award. It's unless you are a middle linebacker on a very good defense or a corner that gets a ton of interceptions, then you will not be able to win the award. And Adolfo, while he's made some plays, he does only have 1 sack. I'm completely fine. I think he's played amazing, but the award is typically a who gets the most sacks award. It's pretty much how it always goes. Just look at when CJ Mosley lost out to Khalil Mack. When CJ Mosley played an amazing rookie season, was one of the best middle linebackers in the NFL, but he doesn't get sacks. So Adolfo, while he has been amazing, he's probably been the best defensive rookie. It all comes down to the stats, and what matters most is sacks. And that's the same thing with the Defensive Player of the Year award. Unless you have some ridiculous season on some great defense, it's going to go to the guy with the most sacks typically. I mean, we see it all the time. Like Marlon's out there forcing 8 fumbles on a really good defense, but they're like, but Aaron Donald, but TJ Watt. I mean, that's just how it always goes. And so it'll be tough for him to win, but obviously I'm pulling for him. And I see Patrick Silverman says, I think Malik Harrison gets 4 forced fumbles today.
Pat, it's a long season, man. It's a long season.
Boyd says Marlon Humphrey. Do we get a peanut punch out of Marlon or a fruit punch out of Marlon or an interception? I'm gonna go risky. I'm gonna say it's an interception day.
Yeah, I'm rooting for interception too, honestly.
Which sounds crazy. And Pat asked, which interior defensive lineman do we have playing? I believe Broderick Washington, Calais Campbell, Justin Ellis, and Pat Ricard.
And Khalil, did we activate Khalil McKenzie?
I don't think we did. We might have, but I don't think we did. Really not that many guys that we're going out there with, but Void says, I'd love to see Away have a Josh Allen type rookie year. That would be amazing. Josh Allen is an absolute monster for Jacksonville. And he was one of the guys. That was who I wanted the Ravens to trade Orlando Brown for. I wanted them to trade him to Jacksonville for Josh Allen. That was like my ideal scenario. So, and we're kind of getting a guy that's having a similar season so far. So, I would definitely be okay with that. But, Benjamin says is Away winning our forced fumble preseason prediction so far. I think so.
Was it? What was the prediction number?
Well, it was just who was going to lead the team in forced fumbles.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, does he only have one?
Yeah.
Do the Ravens only have one forced fumble this year? Last year they had like 2 a game, so it's crazy, but they haven't gotten any like strip sacks or anything like that. So
yeah, like week 1 was just us getting it together, and then week 2, pretty much, another getting it together game. So I definitely feel like the ball is now officially rolling.
Oh yeah, and Pat Dalen is playing today.
Yes, he is, Pat.
And Shamil, how you doing? How you doing today, Shamil? Most bets were Marlon, Malik, and Deshaun. Yeah, that was definitely most people's bets. Unfortunately, Marlon yet to get the peanut punch. It's been a minute. He really didn't get it a lot by the end of last year. I think everyone just plays against Marlon, and they're so scared of getting that ball punched out that they refuse to run with one hand. But he'll get one eventually. One guy will get caught lacking on one play, punch that thing out, and we will see exactly what happens. But let's see here.
So did you hear any more about the story with the Ohio State linebacker yesterday?
Oh my gosh. I really haven't seen a lot about it. All I know is the dude just at halftime threw his helmet and his gloves and just quit.
I think what I've heard was he was trying to get back on the field. He was waved off. He got ticked off, pretty much threw his gloves into the stands and everything else. And someone escorted him to the locker room. And he pretty much shot off a couple tweets talking about, F Ohio State football, but, good luck to my teammates the rest of this year, though. I'm like, golly, what all really transpired for, all that to happen,
Oh, yeah. And Depressed Minion says 10 more minutes till a lot of Subway ads. Is anybody else not liking the stupid Tom Brady Subway ad? Yeah, the one where it's like a luxury commercial and he's like, but I gave it to Subway. 12 inches of bread and whatever toppings. Subway. It's like, what? That commercial's terrible.
I don't get it. I don't understand the meaning behind it.
And then, Shamil, do you wear your Ray Lewis jersey or Ed Reed jersey for Jersey Day at school? Ooh.
Damn, I'm going with Ed Reed.
I'd go with the Reed. I'd go with the Reed. I don't have a Reed jersey. I have a Ray Lewis jersey. Reed is like the one jersey that I need. Actually, I want a lot of jerseys, but oh my goodness. Howard, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much, Howard. Says, go Ravens. Big win today. I am in an electric football tourney. Gotta go. My Ravens are winning. Next game, the Chiefs. Good luck against the Chiefs, Howard. Thank you so much. I mean, we are excited for this game. It's finally I get to watch a Ravens game, and then I get to have two other games on other TVs at the same time. I get to do everything today. I'm very excited. So, man, thank you so much, Howard.
Much appreciated, man. Honestly.
Oh, yeah. And Don C says, everybody in the chat, love you guys. Enjoy the game. I'm out. See you after the stream. Absolutely. We will see you after the game. I don't think we'll stream for too long after the game just because other games will be going on.
Right.
I'm going to be trying to get back and watch those other games. But we will stream when the game ends. Hopefully for I don't know, maybe half an hour or something like that. Maybe we go a little bit longer than that. But yeah, have a good one, Don C. Hopefully you have fun watching the game. We'll keep the stream going on for a couple more minutes, but I see Shamil says Howard the GOAT. Oh yeah, Howard is the GOAT. He really is one of the OGs of the channel. Depressed Media says, I got the Bears shocking the Browns. Justin Fields goes into the state of Ohio in his first career NFL start and gets the upset. Yeah. Now that I don't know if Cleveland fans would be happy or upset because that's their guy. That is Ohio's guy.
As much as I love Justin Fields, I don't know.
I think it'll be a good game. I think the line's at 7 or 8 points, and I would bet the Bears. Mm-hmm. But I don't think he'll get the win. But I do think it'll be a really good game. I'm really excited to see Odell come back. Yeah, I'm a huge Odell fan. I almost started him in fantasy over Adam Thielen, but I'm just too scared to really try and start him. I also have Tyson Williams on my bench, but overall, it's just there's just a lot of guys that I'm very excited to watch this year, and Justin Fields is one of those guys. I love Justin Fields. He was my number 2 quarterback in this draft class. I had him very close to Lawrence, actually. I'm very happy that he didn't go to Jacksonville though, or the Jets. I was like, don't draft Justin Fields. I wanted him in San Francisco. That was my hope. I wanted Fields in San Francisco, but unfortunately he went to Chicago, the team that's never had a 4,000-yard passer. And they're one of the 10 oldest teams in the NFL.
Man, as long as they get rid of Nagy after this year is over, they might be in a better place.
Imagine if Odell gets Marlon again. Oh my God, that's a great comment, Void. Void says 4 minutes and 15 seconds left until the game. Yeah. I think we get a couple more questions and then we will hop in and go watch this game and then see y'all after the game for the post-game stream. And Pat says we're about to blitz the fudge out of this man, Goff. Absolutely. I think we should absolutely blitz a lot because if you get to Goff, he sucks. He is one of the worst quarterbacks with pressure because he doesn't move and he just gets hit and he makes bad throws. But when he's in the pocket, he's probably a top 10 accurate passer in the NFL with a clean pocket. I mean, that's why he was drafted number 1 overall. The dude can make throws.
Yeah.
And Judah, how to watch the game for free? I mean, Reddit, I guess, is probably your best bet if you want to try and do that. But, I mean, it's kind of tough. But, Void says, does Calais get the most sacks or does Owe? I say Owe. What about Patrick Queen?
How many blitzes do you think he's gonna get sent on, though?
I think we'll get sent on a couple. He could get through, get like 2 sacks.
Okay.
On just a couple of blitzes, but
I don't know, man. I'm just as a team collectively, I hope we go for a big 5 to 9 sacks. I don't care who get the most.
I would take a 9-sack game. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah,
maybe want a little bit more, but Also, let's give our score predictions because the score prediction worked out last week. That's all I'm saying. Nailed it with the score prediction last week.
All right.
Who do you got? What do you got?
Come on now. I got Ravens 54-17.
All right. I'm going to say Ravens 45, Lions 24.
That's not bad. I mean, every time we play Detroit has got points on the scoreboard. So, no, that's definitely not bad.
All right, everybody. I think that's going to do it for the pregame stream. Make sure to come back for the postgame stream. We will live stream right after the game ends. Analyze it, all that stuff real quickly. And then maybe we'll stream tomorrow or something like that, trying to figure out to get more analysis and stuff like that. But Brother Hoskins says 50-27. I like that. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll see all of you again after the game, hopefully